My name is Naomi Rosenkranz, and I'm the project manager for the Making a Knowing project, and I have a background in physics. During our color making year, we had a student working on a very intriguing recipe in our manuscript that was black color for dyeing, and is one of the very few recipes in the manuscript for dyeing. However, this black dye was not like other black dyes that I was more familiar with in research that I'd done with first black inks that are also commonly black dyes. The most common way to make black colors during this period was to combine iron with some sort of tannin. The kind of most common version, there are obviously variations on this, is using iron sulfate, this metal salt, which is kind of this green color, with gall nuts or oak apples, which you can see are these kind of brown lumps. However, when you combine them in a liquid, you get this extremely dark black color. Now, for inks, you combine these in a liquid and you add some sort of binding media like a gum. For dyes, you instead use your iron sulfate as a mordant and your gall nuts as a dye, and you get these kind of very dark colored fabrics. Now, this one obviously is a little bit brown, but you would have dyed it multiple times and you would get more and more black. I was much more familiar with pigments and ink than I was with dyes, and this recipe really intrigued me to look back at the types of natural colorants used not just for pigments but as dyes. I kind of started a series of these experiments, and along with some of our students and other collaborators, to kind of go through many of these different colorants and mordants which can affect the color drastically. So starting with natural materials like madder roots or buckthorn berries or various other kinds of plant or insect materials, by making dye baths with them and using other mordants, which are various types of metal salts usually, you can get a whole variety of colors. So for example, with the madder that I just showed you, you can get this kind of whole spectrum of different colors of reds and burgundies and oranges. With our buckthorn berry, we can get anything from kind of yellow to green to brown. With weld, which is usually used as the most common yellow colorant, you can get really bright lemon yellow, which was actually very surprising for us and one of the students, to these kind of very dark colors. I felt that I and our students got a much better understanding of the relationship between the kind of lakes and other pigments that we were much more familiar with, especially that we make during our skill building activities, and their relationships back to dyes, and of just these materials themselves, that we can get such a spectrum of colors from just very minor adjustments to our recipes. So of course, as you can see, there are kind of blank spots, and it's an ongoing investigation, so we hope to get even more colors.